And joining us now for more is accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. And here in our New York City studios is media strategist and host of the What's Bugging Me podcast, Dennis Kneale. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining us this morning. Dennis, I'll start with you. We have seen inflation come down slightly. So why is the Fed still raising these rates?
So on the record, the Fed wants to show how tough it is, right? And it's much more what the markets think about where you're going than what you did today. So they're showing we're still in there, baby, but they already had overdone it before now, and now they've overdone it even worse. And the real reason underneath, guys, is the Fed wants to give themselves enough room to be able to cut at least twice in the election year. No U.S. president ever has been reelected in a recession year. The Fed will avoid that for us so that they can help reelect Biden.
Okay.
That's an interesting take. So, Dan, Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the U.S. is no longer likely to face a recession. You heard what Mr. Kneale just had to say. Do you agree?
Well, he's certainly going to try to avoid one, that's for sure, for many reasons, one of which is absolutely political, because you can't have a situation for a sitting president to go into an election in a recession. I mean, that spells disaster for the sitting president. So whether it can be avoided or not remains to be seen. Look, raising interest rates are designed to slow down the economy, and slowing down the economy enough leads to recession. So it is a very slippery slope to try to balance here.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit touch and go.
Yeah. Dennis, I want you to take a look at the price of gas today compared to the day that Biden took office. Now, the average price is up well over $1 per gallon, and it is still rising, hitting an 8-month high. What do Americans need to know here?
Well, this is exactly why, even though the economy is doing surprisingly well statistically, right? We just had 2.4% GDP growth at a time when they're expecting less than 2%. And they keep surprising us to the upside. Consumers didn't get the memo. They don't care about a recession fear. So despite all of that, we see the price at the pump, which is a direct result solely of Biden policies that are anti-oil, anti-drilling, and then you feel it at the pump and you're really kind of angry at this economy. And you're saying, what do you mean it's doing well?
So, Dan, I'll ask you the same question. Here's my take on it. Having run for office myself, a lot of people vote with their pocketbook, right? So when they feel this pain at the pump, and it's not much better at the grocery market either. I hear from a lot of people that, food is just ridiculously it's outrageous. And when you go to a restaurant, the prices are through the roof. So people are certainly feeling it, whether it's technically a recession or not. So how do you think this plays out?
Well, I think that the president is going to have problems based upon the fact of how people feel. Look, experts can turn around and say, well, the economy isn't bad, it's this, it's that. That doesn't matter. It's how they feel. The economy, and I have always said this, is more about emotion than anything else. Now, people, yes, are still out there making purchases. How are they doing it? Well, all you have to do is look at the amount of personal debt that people are taking on right now. And what they're doing is they're financing all their purchases. So sooner or later, that leads to trouble. And that's what is going to play out in the future, in my opinion.
Sarah, when we win the Mega Millions over $1 billion, we'll be able to pay all those debts off for ourselves, at least.
Thankfully, because I was just
something.
nodding my head being like, you are right. Yeah. That is exactly how I feel right now. And I don't even drive. So this is just, I don't have a car. So there's no petrol I'm spending my money on. It's all at the supermarket.
Notice she says petrol. She means gasoline.
Actually, it's petrol. But anyway, a Bankrate found that 66% of two-thirds of Americans, or two-thirds of Americans rather, not 66% of the two-thirds, have a negative view of tipping and would prefer that businesses just pay their employees more. Sorry, I couldn't read that headline properly then. Dennis, what is your take on this?
What has been happening with tipping? Because it's spreading from where it used to be to ensure prompt service. That's what a tip
Yeah.
was. You pay them extra, 15% to a waitress or waiter who spent 30 minutes waiting on you. Now you're expected to tip 15%. No, they even
18.
wiped out the 18 or 20 or 25 for a coffee that they got you simply. And I'm in my hardware store in Brooklyn. They want a tip when I buy there. It's gone way too far. The other day on Twitter, this pizza guy delivers a $20 pizza. They give him a $5 tip, and he has the nerve to say, that's a pretty small tip for a house this big. Hey, $5 on 20 and you're not happy?
I know, extraordinary. In Australia, we don't tip. So when I came here and I saw it was 18%, I was like, what is going on?
She's a cheap tipper, people. Don't
I am not, but when I was a waitress, I didn't get these kind of tips, let me tell you that. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you both on.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
coming up.